Thank you so much for joining us here at Ignite. My name is Arun Ulag. I'm the Corporate Vice President of the Business Intelligence Platform on the engineering side. I'm joined by my colleague, Priya. Between Priya and I, we're going to talk to you about where we are with Power BI and some of our areas of investment, as well as some of the exciting announcements that we have today. So let's get started. That we all know that everything has changed for pretty much every organization around the world in the year 2020. Satya said it best when he said that we've seen over 2 years of digital transformation in just 2 months. Things have changed for individuals as they've had to work from home and will adapt to never seeing their colleagues on a daily basis. Things have changed for teams because they've had to learn how to share and collaborate with each other. And things have changed for organizations as a whole because they've overnight become remote workforces. So in this environment, the way we share and consume data really has to change and change very, very quickly. So in the Power BI team, we're really focused on empowering every individual so that they can get the insights they need to be able to make the decisions in an uncertain environment. We're focused on empowering every team so teams can work together, they can collaborate and share their data and their insights, and they can make decisions in an environment in which they're not actually seeing each other every day. And lastly, we're focused on empowering organizations so that they can make scale insights across the whole organization, make sure that everybody's on the same page and they're making decisions based on trusted and accurate data sources. And that's kind of how we think about driving a data culture in today's environment. So I'm going to talk to you about Power BI, and I'm going to talk to you about how Power BI helps drive a data culture where everyone can help make every decision informed with data at any scale. Now, Power BI is not alone. Power BI is part of the Power Platform family. And the Power Platform family is a single no-code application platform that allows you to get insights with Power BI, build applications very quickly with Power Apps, automate business processes either through APIs or UI flows with Power Automate, and then build chatbots in record time with Power Virtual Agent. Because all of these products are built together, they're designed to work together. That really makes it easy for you to build entire systems in hours and days as opposed to weeks and months. And that's really, really important in today's environment. The entire Power Platform shares a common set of data connectors. There's over 300 connectors across the Power Platform that connects with pretty much any source in the cloud or on-premise. All of the Power Platform has a lot of AI capabilities so that you can extract insights from data. And the Power Platform shares a common low-code data platform, which is the Common Data Service. So today I'm going to really focus on Power BI, but I would encourage you to attend many of the sessions in Ignite where we cover the other members of the Power Platform family. Now, Power BI, as the first member of the Power Platform family, has been in market for about 5 years. And this has really allowed us to mature a global cloud service, so that customers can expect the kind of scale, performance, and reliability that they expect from Microsoft. So today, Power BI is available in 43 languages. It's deployed in 45 data centers around the world, including 3 national clouds, US, Germany, and China. And it has a host of certifications so customers can feel confident betting on Power BI as they make data-driven decisions. Which is why when Gartner came out with their Magic Quadrant in February this year, they had Power BI as the clear leader on both axes, ability to execute as well as completeness of vision. And Microsoft Power BI has been on the Gartner's, as a leader in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for pretty much a decade. So you can really see the maturity of the platform and all of the capabilities we provide. When you look at what Forrester has to say, they pretty much agree. So Forrester, when they came out with their Forrester Wave in August of 2019, they pretty much had Microsoft Power BI as the clear leader in both axes as well, which is why many of the organizations around the world are standardizing on Power BI because of the leading BI capabilities we have. One of the things that's made a huge difference for these companies is the level of investment that Power BI has put, especially in areas like trust and governance. We know that as you work with your data, this is some of the most sensitive information that your company has. And we want to make sure that it's fully governed, it's fully secure, it's fully auditable. And we've made a bunch of investments on the security side, things like Microsoft Information Protection, things like bring your own key, support for virtual networks, etc., that give you confidence in moving your data to the cloud. And lastly, we know that today is a very, very difficult economic environment for our customers. The fact that Power BI is anywhere from 25% to 75% cheaper than alternatives really provides an incredible economic advantage for our customers so that they can actually put their dollars to good use in a time in which dollars are scarce. So we're excited to see the level of adoption that we've had. Over 97%, about 97% of the Fortune 500 use Power BI in some way, shape, or form. And many of these customers, Power BI is used by tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of employees. And in others, they've begun their Power BI journey in several departments, and it continues to grow. So we're really seeing massive adoption of Power BI pretty much in every geography and every industry. I wanted to call out 3 customers. T-Mobile is getting a lot of benefits by moving from multiple BI tools and having Power BI pretty much be pervasive across the whole organization. And this allows them to move the power back where it belongs to their engineers and the end users. Humana is another great example. They moved from 47 different systems to just Power BI plus Azure. Again, helps them drive a data culture and also realize the benefits of scale as well as the economics of being on a single platform. And lastly, Electrolux uses a lot of Power BI's capabilities, and to drive a data culture, they also use a lot of the AI capabilities in Power BI to be able to get better insights on their data. So I wanted to switch gears and talk about the areas we're investing in. We're just investing in 3 primary areas. The first is in amazing data exploration experiences that really empower every individual. And we're really trying to make sure that Power BI is as simple to use as PowerPoint. So we call that PowerPoint for data, but we really try to make sure that when every user comes into Power BI, it's instantly familiar, that the billion users of Office around the world are already at home when they use Power BI for the first time. The second area we're investing in over here is in AI-infused insights, using a lot of the artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities we have in Microsoft and creating simple end-user experiences that really focus on business users and business outcomes. The second area we're investing in is to empower every team. And we're really focused on making sure that teams, when they work together, can share and collaborate around data. So the first area of investment really here is to bring Power BI into Teams. So we're excited to announce at Ignite that Power BI is shipping a new Teams app. It'll be there on the left-hand side of Teams. You can pin it by default if that's what you choose. But it really makes sure that Power BI, your data, and your insights are just a click away for all of your Teams users. The second area we're investing in is in productivity. We're really making sure that you don't just have to come to Power BI to get your insights. The insights you have in Power BI are infused across all of your Office experiences. So for example, if you're using Excel, right from within Excel, you can discover your Power BI data sets, you can build pivot tables, you can connect Power BI to any table or any data, and it's all fully accessible right there. It's this level of integration that makes it easy for customers to be able to get the insights in the Office applications they're already in. And lastly, we're investing, making it really easy to go from insight to action to automation. So this is where we're integrating deeply across the Power Platform. So we provide the set of capabilities that help you build entire systems in hours and days, all with single no-code experiences that are all completely extensible through Azure. The third area we're investing in is really to make Power BI scale and meet the needs of the most demanding enterprise organizations. And here's where we're trying to make sure that Power BI can scale to hundreds of thousands of users. So this is everything from the deep integration in the Azure stack to be able to support self-service data preparation at scale directly on Azure Data Lake, to enterprise-grade semantic models, pixel-perfect paginated reporting. The list goes on and on. However, it's all anchored by trust. They've made fundamental investments in Microsoft Information Protection, Microsoft Cloud App Security, as well as a lot of the security capabilities in Azure so that customers feel very confident as they work with data in their cloud. So in this session, Priya is going to focus entirely on how we make Power BI scale to the needs of the most demanding organizations around the world. If you're interested in learning more about the first 2 areas of investment, I'd encourage you to attend the session that I did with Kim Manis, where we covered the first 2 areas. All right, so with that, let me transition over to Priya. Priya, take it away.
Thank you, Arun. Hi, all. I'm super excited to be here and talk about the new and upcoming features in Power BI that empower every organization. In fact, I will be talking about some of the Power BI and Azure capabilities that enable users to build reports and get insights at scale, and all of this without compromising security, compliance, governance, performance, or meeting the most demanding needs of the enterprise. So let's get right to it. First, let's start talking about how do you ingest and prep data with Power BI data flows and machine learning. A report with predictions is very easy to build in Power BI. Now, Contoso is an electronics manufacturing company and Contoso has a report that provides them opportunity analytics. It's very easy for them to go look at the opportunity, the predicted status of whether it would be won or lost, and the top factors that go into predicting that status, whether that be product, manager, industry, etc. So traditionally, a report like this might take a few months to build and a little bit of back and forth between a business analyst and the data scientist. But let me show you how easy it is to build this with Power BI, data flows, and Power Query and machine learning. So first, you need to connect to your data and bring that data in order to start building these reports. Power BI supports over 350 different connectors, and these include first-party Microsoft connectors and third-party connectors. We are constantly enhancing these connectors and adding new connectors as well. In fact, over the last few months, we've added new connectors to TIBCO, MicroStrategy, and if you're in healthcare, a Fire connector. We also have a Databricks connector. We made improvements to single sign-on with the Snowflake connector. And it's really easy, no matter where your data is, on-prem or in the cloud, to connect to that data source and bring your data into data flows. And once your data is in data flows, let's talk about how easy it is to apply to machine learning. You go to your entity, in this case, the opportunity entity, and you add a machine learning model. You go ahead and then pick the status you want to predict. Now, Power BI, looking at that field, automatically knows that the right ML model to apply is a binary prediction. You go ahead and choose your labels, the text you want to display, and that's it. You can probably customize some of the fields that you want the model to study, or you can just settle for the defaults that Power BI picks over here. You can then go ahead and name your model, add a description, change the training time, or you can just select all of the defaults and then hit save. At this point, you have an option to refresh this model right away or schedule it for a refresh. And as you can see, I've done all of this in just about 5 clicks without writing a single line of code within Power BI. Now, if you don't want to do that, users can also leverage machine learning models that have been built in Azure Machine Learning. It's very easy to do that. If the user has been given permission to that machine learning model, it's automatically available to them within Power BI, as you see over here. So the user can work with their data scientists, get access to that machine learning model that's been built using Azure Machine Learning Studio, and incorporate that in their Power BI report. In this example here, you see an image classification model being leveraged. Now, one of the other things that users love to do is reuse their data in Power BI across their organization, across Azure services and across Dynamics applications. For this, we support the Common Data Model format. And the Common Data Model format is really an industry standard format for entities such as sales, orders, etc. And these are fully supported within Power BI. You can very easily prep data with the CDM format. Now, for those of you that are already familiar and using it, support for 0.9 is coming very soon. Once these reusable building blocks are created, these are stored in Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Now, until recently, our integration with Azure Data Lake Gen 2 was at the tenant level. So everybody in the organization, everybody in the tenant had to use the same Azure Data Lake storage account. But now we have this available at the workspace level, and we are now enabling departmental scenarios. So an individual department can go attach their Azure Data Lake storage and use these CDM models. So what I'm excited to talk about next is visual data prep. So this is a capability that's coming soon. It's called a diagram view and gives you exactly that, a visual representation of the queries that go into data prep. For example, here you see a visual representation of two queries, customers and orders, that have gone into figuring out top customers by purchase order. Now, where this is really, really important is when you have very complex queries with a lot of subqueries, a lot of relationships, and interdependencies, you can very easily visualize these, very easily visualize every single step along the way, whether you're filtering the data, selecting rows, removing duplicates. And as you are performing these steps, you can also see the data rendering at the bottom. Now, this is a feature that's going to be coming soon in Power Query Online, which means it'll be available to you in Power BI data flows as well. So let's move on to the data stack integration. We've integrated Power BI very deeply with Azure Synapse Analytics, which is our modern data warehouse. Now, we announced this at public preview at our Build conference earlier this year. And with this integration, you now have the capabilities to build Power BI reports on large volumes of data in the Synapse data warehouse, and author these reports from right within the Synapse Studio and publish these reports and make them available to your users. Now, what I'm super excited to talk about and show you a sneak peek of is what's coming next, which is the Power BI Performance Accelerator for Synapse. Now, if you're a data engineer, you probably know one of the biggest challenges is performance, as the number of users and the volume of the data scales in the data warehouse. In order to give your users optimal performance, you probably have to go through a cumbersome process of figuring out queries, the usage patterns, and then figure out the materialized views that have to be created in the data warehouse. Now, with this deep integration with Power BI and Synapse, we are introducing this capability where Power BI collects the query patterns. We know the user's usage patterns, and we determine the materialized views to be created. This is sent over to Synapse. Synapse creates the materialized views, and then future queries of Power BI are directed to these materialized views, giving you really superior performance. Now, this is in private preview today, and if you're interested in joining our journey in this private preview and being an early adopter, contact your account team or participate by signing up at aka.ms/IPA preview. Now, here's a demo that I'm going to show you with the performance of the Power BI Performance Accelerator for Synapse. Now, here is a report that I've built on Synapse. There's a few billion rows of data that this report is built on. This report is not using the Performance Accelerator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my Performance Analyzer, and I'll refresh this visuals, and you'll see that this report takes quite a bit of time to render and refresh. What I'm going to do now is switch over, and I'm going to show you, this is set of tables in Synapse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm going to turn on the Performance Accelerator. Now, when this comes out into public preview, you will have a user experience within the Synapse Studio itself to turn this on and turn this off. What I'm going to now show you is I'm going to show you the views that are getting created in the system. As you can see, there's materialized views that are getting created in the system. Let's go back to the report, and let's go back and refresh the visuals. As you can see, this go around, the performance is a snap. It's much faster as these queries are now getting redirected to those materialized views, giving you much enhanced performance. Talking about enterprise semantic models, we have exciting capabilities coming out here as well. So for those of you that are new to Power BI, semantic models are business definitions of data. Example, they contain the rules behind the data, the business logic behind the data, maybe metrics behind the data. In Power BI, we call these the Power BI dataset. And Power BI datasets, we've made them open and flexible. So not only can Power BI access and update them, but other tools such as Excel, but even third-party tools such as MicroStrategy and Click and Tableau can use Power BI datasets and access and update them. So if you are a BI pro in the audience, you probably know that there is not one corporate definition of a semantic model. There probably is one that IT creates, and every local subsidiary might have the need to have their own local data set. However, blending these together and creating a composite data set is something that wasn't possible before. And we are bringing you that ability pretty soon in the next few months via a feature called composite models. And I'll show you a quick preview of composite models. So here's going back to Contoso and the sales data set. We have the sales data set that is owned by the sales department. Now, sales wants to compute and add margins. For this, they need access to another data set, which is the finance data set that is owned by the finance department. Over here, you see I've just clicked on it and brought in that finance data set. I'm very easily now able to join these two data sets together by just bringing together the dates and the customer IDs and create the relationship between these two completely different data sets, all with just a few clicks and not writing any line of code or any complexity. And that's it. So I've been able to combine these two data sets and create a composite model. And now I can go back to my report and I can create a simple, quick measure for margins. And I can now include margins right within my report. And with that, I've just created a composite report out of these two different models. And this is coming soon to you later this year. I'm going to talk about enterprise reporting. So enterprise reporting, we've had paginated reports in Power BI for a couple of years now, which is the same set of on-prem SSRS capabilities we've brought into the cloud. You can author, embed these, distribute these, and we support multiple formats with row-level security. And we also support subscription-based bursting. So somebody in the sales team can send out a paginated report to the entire sales team, but sales members would only be able to see the data for the accounts that they own and not everybody else's data. Now, what I'm excited about is what we're bringing to you soon in the next month or so is the ability for you to move your RS and AS workloads to the cloud much faster. We're going to have the ability for you to use your Azure hybrid benefit to deploy VMs, either AS or RS VMs, supporting 2016 to 2019 SQL Server versions directly from the Azure Marketplace. This makes it easy for you to bring your on-prem workload to the cloud and then use your existing tools and familiarity with those tools to then move into a full SaaS service like Power BI. So the RS workload support, the RS VMs are coming to you in October, and the AS VMs are coming to you in the marketplace in the November timeframe. Next, I want to talk about lineage and impact analysis. So we've had the ability to do lineage in Power BI, understand the lineage of Power BI artifacts for quite a while in Power BI. What I'm about to talk about is end-to-end label inheritance from Azure Synapse Analytics into Power BI. So this is a capability that is coming soon, later this year. And let's walk through an example here. So here I have a SQL DB, and I'm going to apply sensitivity labels on a few fields within my SQL DB, marking a few of these fields as highly confidential. I'm saving it, and let's go into Power BI. As you can see, these data sets and reports don't have any sensitivity labels at all. However, when I refresh my data set, that sensitivity label from that SQL DB is actually carried forward through. And you see that little lock sign that shows up on that data set and on those reports. That's it. That label has been inherited end to end. And I'm super excited for that coming this year. Lastly, I want to talk about management and governance. You've built these reports, and now you have the number of users scaling on the platform, and you want to manage these and reports, and you want to give your users great performance. You need the ability to understand where your performance bottlenecks are. And so what we are doing is bringing the ability for you to monitor performance with your own Azure Log Analytics. Bring your log analytics and attach it to Power BI. Here's a simple experience of what you're going to be able to do to set up your own Azure Log Analytics. Once it's set up, what we will start doing is sending all the performance telemetry that we've had within Power BI into your log analytics. So as you know, performance bottlenecks, when a report is slow, could be anywhere from the report, the queries, the data source, could be in the network, could be anywhere. Now, I'll show you an example of how easy it'll be for you to monitor your reports and evaluate performance. So I go into Log Analytics and I open my logs right here, and I can run very simple queries and look at the telemetry. Here's an example of a query that gives me the telemetry of the performance of my 95th percentile reports. And that's how simple it is. What we're going to do when we ship this later this year, we're going to ship this with a few sample reports that'll get you jump started. And we will eventually have template apps as well. Now, in addition to that, what we're working on with the Synapse team is end-to-end monitoring, so you can get Power BI and Synapse report performance monitoring. And this will also come to you later this year, where you will be able to correlate your Power BI queries with your Synapse queries. So you will be able to pinpoint exactly where your performance bottlenecks are. Lastly, I want to talk about next generation Power BI Premium. So today we're super excited to announce that Power BI Premium Gen 2 is coming soon to you this November. As you're aware, if you use Power BI Premium today, probably use it and love the premium features such as paginated reports and AI. You probably also love the unlimited user distribution, user access. We're bringing that same capability with a per user licensing model. So not only are we licensing by capacity, which we do today, but we're also going to bring the ability for you to purchase per user and enjoy those same premium features and capabilities that I talked about. Now, Generation 2 is built on a new architecture and will give you up to 16x performance boost. In addition, in Gen 2, we will give you the ability to scale capacity when and as it's needed with a feature called Autoscale. Autoscale will come to you in the early part of next year. And Autoscale, when turned on, you opt into it, you turn on, we will automatically sense when you're having user spikes. So think about the scenarios where you have a Monday morning spike, you have a seasonal spike, you have a quarterly spike, And you don't have to worry about managing capacity. We will incrementally add a core for you. And when we sense that you no longer need that incremental capacity, we will remove that core. Lastly, Gen 2 also gives you utilization analysis at a workspace level and in detail so you can do consistent, reliable cost management. Gen 2 with premium per user is coming to you in November, but we are in private preview today. So if you're interested, please contact your account team and join us as an early adopter or participate by signing up at aka.ms PBI Premium V2 Preview. I want to wrap up with the call to action. We have a lot of exciting sessions, and I would encourage you to go watch them. The first one is really a Gen 2 focused session, which is advancing Power BI Premium to the enterprise market and beyond. If you're interested in ETL and data flows, then watch the enterprise grade ETL session. If you're really interested in some of the aspects of bring your own log analytics, understanding usage and performance, watch the insights into usage and performance of the Power BI report session. And lastly, if you're interested in our AI capabilities, watch the Enhance Your BI Solutions with AI session. With that, I want to thank you for watching the session. Please don't forget to evaluate the session and enter your feedback. Thank you very much, and stay safe, stay healthy.